No, look, there's I always say I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win uh, one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look very easy.
It's two things that you can do with somebody bigger and stronger. You know, you can either try to push them back, you know, because 9 times out of 10, a strong fighter not used to going back.
But I'm going to go with Canelo because he didn't hold Turkey's hand.
Canelo Alvarez responded to Terence Crawford's recent knockouts with respect, praising his impressive skills. He acknowledged that Crawford delivered an outstanding performance against Errol Spence, making the victory look easier than many expected. Still, Canelo noted that Spence remains Crawford's only truly elite opponent so far, raising questions about the rest of his resume. Looking ahead, Canelo promised that the truth will be revealed when the two finally share the ring, leaving fans eager to see how the showdown unfolds.
Are you tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, there's I always say I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look very easy. But I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But you never know in boxing.
Canelo hinted that he has already figured out Crawford's techniques and fighting style, expressing confidence in his preparation. With a slight smile, he added that Turki Alashik will likely be disappointed on fight night, since he'll be supporting Crawford from his corner, making the clash not just a battle between fighters, but a showdown with personal stakes as well.
You're gonna be able to do about it come fight
and
night.
I know Turkey is in your corner,
I promise you.
but look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
Canelo's decision to bring in Jaron Ennis for sparring is being praised as a smart strategic move. According to Johnny Ortiz, Ennis closely resembles Terence Crawford in both body type and fighting style, making him the ideal training partner. This gives Canelo the chance to study Crawford's rhythm, movement, and physical strengths in real time while sharpening his timing and defense. At the same time, Ennis benefits by gaining invaluable experience working alongside a champion like Canelo, which also helps his own development. Ortiz described it as a rare win-win situation where both fighters elevate their game, making the preparation highly effective.
Makes sense, and it's definitely a good experience for both. Eddie Reynoso and Canelo, shout out to them because now it shows that they serious with a real game plan, and Boots is, to me, everybody's a perfect opponent. I wouldn't say opponent, perfect sparring partner to have to replicate Crawford because they both switch hitters and stuff like that, and they got dog in them and reflexes for sure. So it shows Canelo serious, and on Boots' end, to be able to spar a Hall of Famer, top tier guy, is gave him great experience, and you could tell he really wants it. It's a sport where Boots is getting an opportunity to spar a Hall of Famer. Who cares? In reality, what the fuck loyalty does Boots owe to Crawford when it comes to the sport of boxing? I mean, Crawford didn't do shit even back while Boots was trying to get his opportunity when it was Spence and Crawford. Every time Boots' name got mentioned, you heard the Bud Clowns be like, oh yeah, he don't deserve it. Oh, who did he fight? Oh, who this and that, man? I ain't trying to hear that shit. It's like different shit that you need to be woke up outside of boxing. Boxing is a sport. There's shit that we need to really come together. I didn't see y'all come together like 5 years. The Bud Clowns, because it's real fans, the Bud Clowns is bashing PBC. Everything Boots, when you bring up Boots' name, putting him down, I didn't hear like, oh yeah, instead of fighting Canelo or fighting this person.
Jose Benavidez emphasized the value of Canelo Alvarez's choice to spar with Jaron "Boots" Ennis. He explained that Ennis mirrors Crawford in key ways: physique, movement, and overall style, making him an ideal stand-in during training camp. By facing someone with similar attributes, Canelo can mentally prepare for the type of challenge he'll encounter on fight night. Benavidez also pointed out that Crawford's naturally smaller size compared to Canelo could influence the matchup. In his view, working with a physically strong and stylistically comparable partner not only sharpens Canelo's skills, but also strengthens his belief that he holds the edge even before the first bell rings.
Give Canelo maybe a little bit more confidence that he is sparring somebody really good. Ennis is a really good fighter, and I think that would be a good motivation, you know, for Canelo Alvarez. I just think that Crawford is too small for Canelo. I think Canelo's too big for Crawford, but in my opinion, I think if Crawford could maybe just tap, get out, tap, hook, get out, maybe once in a while throw a straight punch and just win by points and use his legs, I think I see him winning by decision. But if he tries to exchange with Canelo Alvarez, I think he's gonna make a mistake and he's gonna get hit with one shot and maybe he can get hurt and that would change the whole fight, you know. But I think he's faster. Crawford is faster and a straight punch, get out, you know. Don't stay there to throw or try to trade with Canelo Alvarez.
Okay, fair to say. Fair to say. Now, do you feel like when it comes down to the demeanor of making that decision of bringing him in, does it show that he's taking this camp perhaps a little bit more serious than others? I mean, what do you think about just the move per se?
You know, it's very difficult to say. He's never brought anybody really good to his camp until this time. Maybe he's lacking enough confidence, or maybe he just wants to use them to trick the people, or, I mean, it's very awkward and very funny that he brought Ennis to his camp, you know. So, but at the end of the day, they know what they're doing, you know, and we got to respect that. And I think
the global demand for boxing has entered a new era, with streaming platforms now setting unprecedented records for live events. The Netflix clash between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson attracted an incredible 65 million viewers, making it the most watched fight in terms of audience numbers. That event proved the appetite for combat sports extends far beyond traditional expectations. Now, the upcoming showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford carries the weight of possibly breaking that record. This isn't just about two champions meeting in the ring, it's about history unfolding on a worldwide stage. Fans across continents are eagerly waiting to see if this fight can generate even more excitement and global engagement than the Jake versus Mike spectacle.
Which was obviously on Netflix as well. The biggest concurrent view was, I think, 65 million. So at one stage of a time, 65 million people were watching that fight, which is crazy, hence why it broke Netflix servers. I do wonder what this does. I think it does around 10 to 15, which is still an incredible number. The problem with these two, and I was saying this morning actually to Gareth A. Davis, like, there's no antagonizer here, is there? No one is willing to play the role of the bad guy, the heel, the bully. And you almost need that a little bit. Like Jake Paul was actually quite smart in the way in which he promoted the Tyson fight. Obviously, look, it's Mike Tyson. But it was promoted so well where Jake was willing to be the guy that, oh, I'm going to fuck up the greatest fighter of all time. You know, he was willing to kind of say all those things and play that role. So people almost tuned in to see him get chinned as well. Neither of these guys are playing that role. Neither of these guys, I don't think, have crossed over massively to non-boxing fans. I mean, to us, they're like gods, but to non-boxing fans, I do wonder how much.
Terence Crawford has never been the type to shy away from challenges, and his preparation for Canelo highlights just how calculated his approach to strategy is. Crawford openly admits the difficulties of facing naturally larger opponents, yet he insists there are clear solutions. One of his main tactics is to force bigger fighters onto the back foot, a position they're often uncomfortable with since their size and power usually allow them to dictate the pace by moving forward.
There's two things that you can do with somebody bigger and stronger. You know, you can either try to push them back, you know, because 9 times out of 10, a strong fighter not used to going back, you know, so it kind of fucks them up in the head, you know.
Yeah.
Or you can just box them because some of them just slower than others because they got flat feet, and they just looking to load up on certain shots.
Now, Crawford's definitely right here. There's 2 ways to beat a pressure fighter like Canelo. Either you put the pressure back on him, which is where guys like Triple G and Bivol had success, or you use your superior skills and footwork on the outside, which is how Floyd Mayweather won. Now, Crawford, he can't use the pressure approach because he's not as physically dominant as guys like Golovkin or Bivol. You know, Bud is a welterweight or junior middleweight jumping up. He doesn't have the size to push Canelo back. Now, the outside boxing approach, that is definitely Crawford's best chance against.
While much of the buildup has centered on rivalry, Terence Crawford has also expressed genuine admiration for Canelo Alvarez's place in boxing history. He acknowledges Canelo as one of the last true representatives of a golden era, an athlete who not only achieved greatness, but also shared the ring with legendary names. Crawford sees that legacy is rare, and stepping in against Canelo is, for him, about far more than belts or records. It's a chance to test himself against a fighter who has carried the torch of boxing greatness. By framing the matchup this way, Crawford adds an extra layer of meaning to the storyline, transforming it into more than just another championship bout.
To cut off the ring at times, we saw that in the Skull fight, and he does load up on single shots now. But at the same time, Crawford is not the same pure boxer that Floyd Mayweather was. You know, Mayweather rarely got hit in that shell, and his form of countering, you know, a pull counter for example, was, I'm not gonna get touched and then I'll make you pay. Whereas Crawford's style of counterpunching is different. Bud will take one to throw 2 or 3 back, and he can't do that against Canelo because of the size and power difference. If Bud takes a clean right hand to throw back an uppercut or a hook, he's either going to get dropped or he's going to end up on his bike like Jermell Charlo. So while I do agree Crawford does have the superior skill set in this fight, but because he doesn't have the size to push Canelo back, or the defense of someone like Mayweather stay perfect for 12 rounds on the outside, I do think Canelo's size and power will make the difference in this fight. And that's why
Sean Porter brings a different perspective, suggesting that Canelo may not present anything Crawford hasn't already experienced. In Porter's view, Crawford has faced a wide range of styles throughout his career: speedsters, heavy punchers, counterpunchers, and even naturally bigger opponents. This adaptability, Porter argues, is what makes Crawford truly special. His versatile skill set allows him to adjust to any challenge, which is why Porter believes that even Canelo's size and power won't be enough to overwhelm him. For fans, this outlook adds an important balance to the ongoing debate.
The ring with Canelo Alvarez, Terence is not going to see anything that he hasn't seen before. No, he hasn't seen this beast on fight night, but he's seen versions of this beast for a very, very, very long time. People have said that he's a blown-up 147-pound fighter. If you remember, he said it was hard for him to make 147 when he fought Errol Spence Jr. I was like, yo, how is that possible? I didn't realize, like, he was really doing everything that's needed to gain the weight properly. Most fighters don't know how to gain weight and fit into a weight class properly.
Antonio Tarver views the fight through the lens of danger, stressing that Canelo needs only one clean shot to completely change the outcome. He acknowledges that Crawford may be the more active and technically polished fighter, but insists that Alvarez's power remains the ultimate equalizer. Having spent decades around the sport, Tarver understands that a single mistake against a puncher like Canelo can end a fight in an instant. His warning serves as a sharp reminder. No matter how skilled Crawford is, he will need flawless execution every second of every round.
Canelo only need one punch. You know what I mean? That really, basically, that's what it boils down to. I think Canelo only need one shot to change the game or change the fight. Crawford gonna have to stay consistent and win out. Gonna have to get ahead and stay ahead. You know what I mean? And then also looming is the controversy. Can Crawford win a close decision? I could never win a close decision. I never won a close decision. That's what's looming. I think if Crawford is going to guarantee victory, he got to stop him.
A man who ain't been stopped.
He got to stop him, bro.
Yes,
And
challenge.
So that's gonna be the challenge. So I like Bud. I've always loved Bud, bro. But he in for a hell of a fight. If Saul show up, it's gonna be a problem.
Andre Rozier emphasized the importance of Canelo Alvarez's decision to spar with Jaron Ennis, noting it reflects Canelo's commitment to thorough preparation. For Rozier, bringing in such a high-level fighter shows genuine respect for Crawford's abilities. Canelo isn't underestimating the challenge. He is carefully building a training camp with sparring partners capable of pushing him in ways similar to what Crawford might. Rozier believes this mindset is exactly why Canelo has remained at the top for so long. His willingness to adapt, prepare, and test himself in training sets him apart from others. This level of seriousness reassures fans that the fight will deliver the absolute best version of both men, as neither is leaving anything to chance.
I would think it would be because he's ambidextrous, as is Crawford, so it can do nothing but help him. And he has Yolanda Hernandez also helping, another fighter who is ambidextrous, so it helps. And we just want to see him do what he has to do, because this is a great fight.
Who were you initially taking? Is it Crawford?
No, I think I'm always under the direction of the bigger, better man. And Canelo's the bigger guy in this fight. And Crawford is my guy. It's just 2 weight classes and everything else. It's going to be tough. But if anybody can bring some energy to this, it'll be Crawford.
Does Canelo bringing Boots into camp, does that lower Crawford's chances to you?
It doesn't help. I'll tell you that much. It's a very, very astute move to bring someone who switches from lefty to righty. Big, strong young man, very fast, capable punching power. It's going to be a help. It'll be a help for him.